Good evening. Welcome to Kiki's Chat Show. Welcome to Kiki's Chat Show. Today, Wednesday, the 7th of February, 2018. Today, our topic is 100th year anniversary of women's right to vote. Have we moved on? Where are we with women's rights? Has it changed? Is it just political or is it social as well? I'm going to play some more music for you and then we shall carry on. That was JQ Jazz. This is Hip Life Jazz. I'm playing Hip Life Jazz because I can't play any other jazz. Facebook will freeze me out. So I'm playing Hip Life, our own music. And I hope that you enjoy it. I'll keep playing it intermittently as you go on. Now, with our 100th year anniversary for women's right to vote, there's so many things that we wonder. Some people say women have advanced forward. I don't think so. I think that women politically, yes, we can vote. Politically, we can enter into, women are in parliaments, we have women MPs, we have women in politics, we have women in very powerful positions, but there are few women still. We need more women to be doing things. Now, a lot of our issues, the issues that we have, are more social, you know, and these social issues haven't changed. And one wonders why. I mean, did Emily Pankhurst and Emily Dickinson and all these women, some of them, they sacrificed so much. They did so much for the advancement of women. They were thrown in jail so many times. And the interesting thing about being thrown in jail is that whenever they were going on a march or they were going to do something, each woman would go home. She would cook, bake, and pack food away so that, because, you know, with the knowledge that they would be put in jail, and so while they're there, their families would have food to eat. Now, you know, that in itself is sad. My question to you all is, how far have we come? How far have women gone from 100 years ago when all of this struggle? And some of the sad things that I took away is the majority of women who fought, who suffered, who were thrown in jail, who lost their husbands, who lost a lot of respect because they were trying to change the status quo. They died before the voting. They didn't even get the chance to vote themselves. Now, they have sacrificed themselves for us. If you have any views at all, the number to call is 0203 735 8820 or 0203 286 0185. In Africa, for example, sometimes I despair with how slow we copy everything. We copy all the bad habits from the West. We watch movies, we copy things, and yet we cannot move forward. Women are still mules. They are second, third, and fourth class citizens, as somebody said to me this evening. You know, women are not moving forward. We are stagnant. A woman is a doctor, and her mother-in-law will come into her house and say she's lazy, she doesn't work, she doesn't know how to cook for her husband. Now, why at this stage in the 21st century we still describe women by their housekeeping or what they can do, when they can afford to get someone to come and do these things? If you want, men happily don't do anything at home, and yet they're fine. I have no issue with women working and, you know, laying beds and cooking and all of those things. I have no issue with it. But I think my issue is when there is no balance. The job is not shared. And whilst it is not shared and the woman is struggling to do all these things, looking after the children, running, you know, planning the food, everything practically, the man does one thing and he's irritated by it. Why? Why do we live in a world where all of the hard work that women are doing has not changed? It's not shared equally and evenly. Why? We're still arguing and fighting for equal pay in offices where a man and a woman may be doing the same thing. They may be qualified the same way. They may actually have the same profession. Two solicitors are earning different amounts of money. That is so unfair. Now, all of these things are issues where we need to change, and we need to kind of come to the drawing board and kind of think why. Now, it is a man's world. We live in a man's world, and I say this continuously, and I've been saying this for the past 3 weeks, because women alone can't do it. And we've moved on from being knocked down by horse-drawn carriages, etc., etc. Women alone can't do it. And if a woman is saying, I need help, a man should be able to help her. You must both sit down. So many men, especially in the Western world, they work and they want the woman to share the burdens, the financial burden. And they do. Women happily go to work and they share the financial issues quite fine. Everyone's paying bills, doing all sorts of things. There's so many marriages where men do not. Their men do not buy clothes for their wives. They do not buy clothes for their children, but they're both working. So if that is the situation, why are men not equally helping and doing all the things? Now, this is not to say men don't do it, but if a man is doing housework, he shouldn't be thanked. This is what you both do. This is your living. This is how it has to be. And in Africa, it's even worse. We have adopted, you know, all the situations in Africa. My view with Africa is even worse, because I think that while in the Western world we had the suffragettes who have helped us to be able to vote. Since independence, women have voted in Ghana, for example, and in all these, you know, African countries where women are voting, women are doing all sorts of things. I don't think those women who are voting are even aware of the suffering, the sacrifice that the women of the Western world went through to get them to be able to do. This is something which is so important. 100 years we're learning. There's so many things that those women did, and I will tell you some of them. I will give you some of their names. Emmeline Pankhurst. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this on the radio today is because my listeners are mostly from the diaspora. Now, ladies, my whole idea for the year of 2018 is to empower you. And to empower you, you have to look at yourself. You have to look at yourself and have to look at the future, the bigger picture. If you have daughters, say, you want your children to be able your daughters to be able to amount to something, and they should fearlessly have a goal, and they should have ideas of what they want to do in their lives and do it without any problem. Now, you, the mother, it is your responsibility to have that confidence, to instill in your daughter that, ladies, the world is changing now. We have so many issues that if we do not help ourselves, things will not change. We have so many issues. Now, even though women have advanced, and I'll say in some ways we have advanced because we can vote. Women have great professions. We have women lawyers, doctors, chief justices, especially in Africa, in Nigeria. The oil minister at one point was a woman, you know, of oil. And that was one of the biggest commodities in Nigeria at the time. A woman was the minister. We have women pilots. We have women doing everything, everything. However, more often than not, a woman is not described by her profession or by her intelligence. It's just her housework. How pleasing she is to a man and his men relatives. In fact, his in-laws. And the girl child is shaped as such. So in a house where there are women and men, children, boys and girls, it is the girl. The onus is on the girl to be able to cook so that she can cook for her husband. It is terrifying to read today about how the girl child is conditioned to think that to please a man is the way to go. And that is wrong. After all this suffering that has gone on for women, we still think in this way? No. No, 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 no. Do you know that the woman who, and I'm going to read it to you so that I have the correct, a woman called Ada Lovelace wrote the world's first computer program for the analytical engine. This is an early computer. She had been taught mathematics by her mother, Annabella Byron. Now, this is a big thing. Whereas men think that they are the masters of mathematics, they are the masters of computers. You go into IT offices and the majority of the IT technicians and engineers are men. That, you know, they better know, though, that it's a woman who wrote the program. Now, where are these women? Nobody talks about them. Nobody talks about them. Now, there are women who have looked singularly. That's when you talk about single mothers who are being abused and derailed and misunderstood at the moment. But single mothers have brought up very powerful men indeed. How did they do it? How did they do it? If you want to challenge me or you want to agree with me, the number to call is 0203 735 8820 or 0203 286 0185. This is GN Radio, the best radio station in Europe by Ghanaians for Ghanaians and all the people of Africa. Today we should be celebrating. It was yesterday actually, but today is the day I'm on the radio. So, you know, we have Jane Austen. Jane Austen has written books. She wrote these books in 1783. Now, this woman has written books that we're still reading today. We're still making films about some of her books today. This is a woman. This is a woman, and yet we don't really spend time thinking about the women. We rather talk about Pride and Prejudice. We don't actually say Jane Austen. We say, oh, have you read Pride and Prejudice? You that is sad. I think that from this moment onwards, when you're doing something and you're doing it for yourself, your community, your country, your continent, I think if women do things, we should celebrate them. It is very important that we appreciate what women do. Women are such powerful people, but somehow they are made to feel like they're not of that much value, or their value is being eroded gently by men. Now, my show, I love men, and I will always say that I love them. I gave birth to some, and I love some, and I am a sister to some, etc., etc. So I do not hate men, but I think that women have to rise up a little bit more without, come away from violence and away from everything. Women have a brain. Now, somebody said to me yesterday that women's enemy is women. That is also another issue, totally. However, we cannot keep dwelling on that. What we need to do is look at ourselves, think deeply beyond ourselves and into the wider picture. Think about our children, our granddaughters, for example. How do you see them? I come from a long line of very powerful women, and maybe that's why it makes me gobby. There are some women who, if you are not a strong man, you need not apply, because there's no time for men, being wishy-washy and miserable and sad, etc., etc. But there are strong men out there, and you have to come forward and let us try and change the world. We have to. There are so many issues. When you talk about all of this, the political side where women are voting and women are being educated here and there, we also have women who are still being bullied, who are being told that they are worthless, and because, and those women are more than the strong ones, and we need to help them. Rosa Parks, in 1955, and this is in America, in the Deep South, she is, and Rosa Parks is talked about. She's a black woman. She was in the time that slavery hadn't still been eroded, where white people sat in the front of the bus and black people sat at the back of the bus. However, Rosa Parks made a stand and decided that she was not going to sit at the back. And it is still being talked today. She's revered today. She is the mother of modern day civil rights movement because she decided not to sit at the back. She's also a human being, and she wanted to sit in the front with the white passengers. Now, are people still making these strident moves now? Are people strong enough now to stand against a rule of law and say this is wrong, this is not fair? Can women do this? Can women do this? Now, I'm not saying women should suddenly go crazy and stand in the middle of the road and do all these things, but I'm saying in your own small way, you should be able to make a stand. You should be able to start thinking of ways to change things for the betterment of yourself, for the betterment of people around you, immediately around you, and hopefully your community, your country, and into the world. And that is the bigger picture. We need to help ourselves. We cannot continue to blame other people for things that we are not happy with. we have to deal with these things ourselves. Remember, women have done things in the past, very major things that have helped us now in the future. Do you know that a common thing such as the duvet cover that we use in the Western world, right now there are some studs at the bottom of the duvet cover that when you put the duvet inside the cover, you close those studs, the duvet doesn't keep moving about and, making a mess. It was invented by a woman, a black woman as that. Now, a lot of people don't know this. And even though I knew this and I've known this for years, I've even forgotten her name. I was busy trying to research it on the computer. If I find it, I will let you know. But these are things which, one of the things which is being done to commemorate the 100 years anniversary of women being allowed to vote is to put a plaque of one of the women somewhere in the city of London. Now, this should have been done a long time ago. This should have been done a long time ago, but it wasn't. 100 solid years, and still we haven't had change. We're now getting the change. We're now celebrating a whole idea of the 100 years, and so the change is coming, and it's coming slowly. People, it's not that I'm being ungrateful or being a little bit silly tonight, but truthfully, politically, and I'll say this again, yes, changes have been made, but what about socially? Women are still being sexually harassed, and it's taken decades and years for people. Harvey Weinstein is allegedly harassed a whole horde of women, and it's only recently that we've started talking about it, and slowly it's all coming out. And because one or two people stuck their head up, a few other people added, but it's happening worldwide. Although the rich men are being called and blamed and all of that, what about normal people in normal offices, bosses who are attacking young girls? What about that? What is happening about those people? It's happening now. It's happening in the towns. It's happening in small areas. But people are scared. And even if you know about it, you're a bit afraid to say it. Because if you do, you may lose your job. Now, if you're being sexually harassed and you're still afraid in this time, then we still have a problem. The problem is still there. Now, we want that problem to go away. How do we solve it? How do we get this problem to go away? So these are the issues. Childcare responsibility. A man can be with a woman and then just leave the woman and she has the children and, he's never heard of again. How is that possible? Why are women left to do things because they think that this is what they should be going through? It is not right. She didn't get pregnant on her own. Why is it, though, that people are not taking responsibility for their actions and leaving women alone to deal with it? Why? When you enter into people's homes, I think my phone is ringing. I don't know. Is this the phone? Hello, caller? Sometimes you are surprised by the things that go on in people's homes, and you kind of think, my God, this is the 21st century. Anyway, someone sent me a text and she says, it's true about men of hidden low self-esteem who show themselves as if being modern and deep thinkers and able to enter into discourse with all and are spouses of strong women, but just scratch the surface of the so-called enlightened man and he becomes unsettled and his deep-seated misogyny is exposed. How can a girl child be strengthened against issues? This is true. This is true. How can a girl child be strengthened by these issues? Because if you are very confident, half the time you will not get a husband, because men do not like a woman who speaks for herself and she's bold and she is confident and she has a profession. Men don't like those kind of girls. They want women who will pander to their whims and their every need. I have nothing against it. Trust me, I don't. But then it has to be balanced. While I am giving you your whims, you're giving me my whims. We're all happily being whimsical, you know, and so it goes on. If we're not, then it is unfair. That is not fair, and it shouldn't be like that. When we look back on history, we celebrate the lives of women who are missing in the history books. Women are missing everywhere. There are books, there are songs, there, you know, and it's all about men. Where are the women? Why are we not lauding our own? Look, women should try as much as possible to help other women. That is what it is. That is the only way that we can move forward. Most important, we have to look forward to a day when society need not remind itself about women's accomplishment. Because if a man does something, we applaud him. He's accomplished. I've got a caller now. Hold on, caller. Hello, caller. I am very well, thank you.
You sound
Sorry?
You sounded.
I am. I'm very well. I'm fired up. I'm trying very hard to get the women to call in and talk about things that we are continually putting under the carpet. I want women to be bold and brave and to, look, even if you don't want a man to, or if you're married to a bully or somebody who, when he is not there, feel brave enough to say a few things that concern you and look at ways where we can help you change them.
Yeah. I was reluctant to hold on to my call this evening so I can give my sisters an opportunity to call in, but I realized that I was going very fast and nobody else was called. But I think that we are an unsung, a bunch of heroines. I think, and I believe that we've evolved a lot. Things have changed a lot. 100 years ago, we're not bending our brows anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then talking about women who have excelled, there are many millions of us, like I said, they are unsung. And if I just go by that old adage, which I hate to use, but when they say that behind every successful man there's a woman, what else can you ask for? We are multi-talented, we are multi-skilled, I mean, now, you don't have to apply for a job for a specific gender. We all apply for the same job. Kiki, some years ago you couldn't apply for some jobs because it was only male only.
Oh yes, I know. Even now, you could go into certain professions and it is male. But now, I remember years ago I admired women who drove trucks and women truckers, which there are quite a few now in America. They drive huge trucks and I just love it because I love huge machines, and when I see a woman driving one, I'm like, yeah, there she is.
Yeah, I mean, this saying about fixing square pegs in round holes, it came about because women were seen as misfits for some particular jobs. You know, but now, can't we do them? We can fix square pegs in round holes and round pegs in square holes. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talking about the statue of this woman who was a suffragette, which is just coming up now. You know, it may have been too late in the day for the statue to go up, but every woman knows about this woman. Because when you vote, you remember on that day that without the like of this woman, most of us will not be voting.
That's true.
You talk about a prime minister who was very strong and willed it as she could. That was Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
This morning, you know, I don't ever have time to watch Talk Africa, but I catch up when I come from work. I was quiet when your presenter was talking to the other male panelists about football.
Yeah, I was, you know, and he went on, and I was just listening. Yeah.
I saw you very ladylike looking, smiling through it, and the presenter didn't have the courtesy to turn to you and say, you know, what's your opinion on this, Kiki? You know, he just said, let's move on. Let's move on. As if you can't discuss the strategies of football. If they were getting it right, they won't have all these problems. It only takes a manager. Like this woman, this cook, I've forgotten her. She's managing one of the football teams. Very popular cook on television, you know. You don't hear much about her football because she's a team leader, you know. So talking about where we are at the moment, we've come a long way. It's just flutters of women in some parts of the world who are under the strain of men. You know, I mean, I thought I heard you talk about a salesperson coming to your house and you tell the salesperson, hey, I own this house, because they were looking for a husband to come and talk about buying a carpet cleaner or something.
Yeah.
You are very good. I'll slam the door and say, you know something, wait for the husband.
You see,
unfortunately, we just have to. And then charity begins at home. When you're bringing up your kids, be it men or women, boys or girls, you need to empower them from the beginning. You see, we're bringing up boys. You've got 2 boys, I've got 2 boys. They are both men now. You see, what you need to tell them is that what a woman can do, you too, you can do it. So when they grow up and they go into relationships, they don't get handicapped.
That is true.
It is as well. But you see, when some of our mothers are bringing up their sons like kings and dukes and barons or whatever you call them, they are not allowed to go to the kitchen because that's a man, he doesn't do this. You are destroying a whole nation. You know? So up, ladies, I hope that somebody called before we go to bed tonight. Bye, Kiki.
Bye. Bye. Thank you for your call. Yes, people. Our caller, our listener has made a few salient points. I do take exception, though, because Margaret Thatcher, even though she seemed to be a powerful prime minister, she was a woman amongst men, and she seemed to revel in it, and she didn't allow other women to come up in position, and it looked like a lonely time for her. I think that Margaret Thatcher could have done better than what she did, and so, you know, there we have it. But I don't know. Women are very powerful. We've had a lot of powerful women in the Western world, and in, you know, one of the things about women, though. Oh, I've got a caller. Hello, caller.
Very interesting conversation about this, haven't you? About women power.
Yes, women in power. Yeah, I was just saying though that a lot of women have done a lot of things, but it's interesting that you've called just before you speak. One thing I wanted to continue saying is women do have power in their homes, and a lot of African, Indian, and women of the diaspora, they have powers in their home. They are matriarchs, but these are only married women, women who have married, have had children, and are a little bit elderly. That's why they get respect. If you are not married, you are single, you have no children, you are disrespected, even if you have a good job or whatever. And woe betide you if you have children where they can't pinpoint who their father is.
I agree to that, but it's women ourselves. If we do not teach our men, our sons, how to respect a woman, whether she's single, married, or not, right? It comes from the home first. We women are killing our own selves because, if we're married, our husband will tell us to do things, we're doing things. They're not sharing things with us, right? And living in an African country, right, a man is always dominant. And we women are always put down for this.
That is so true. I agree with you 100%. It seems like men get concerned when a woman is a little bit outspoken or I know men who get upset even when a woman jokes with him about something. It's like she's being rude, or it's the way she talks to him, or there's always something going on. Men don't want a woman who is clear thinking, clear speaking. No.
But that is because it is being put through by a woman, a mother. When she brings her son out and says, hold on, you're the man. You're the one who should tell your wife what to do. Right? We are teaching them. We as women are teaching our sons to behave like that.
So we have made the men treat us badly, basically. That's what you're saying.
Yes. If you look at the African country, where is the woman's position in the house? No matter how educated she is, right, or no matter how many jobs she does, the first thing, a woman should be good in her home. And I think women are killing themselves, because if they can't teach their sons that, hold on, once you get a wife, right? I'll give you an example. My own son is married to a doctor, and she has long hours working, and my son will cook for her. I would be very proud of him, saying that, good, at least he made something to eat while she's at work. You considered she'd be tired. If I don't say that to my son and say, no, why hasn't she come to cook at home after, why should you cook? Then I'm teaching my son wrong thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have a friend who, when we were young and we started getting married and that, her husband used to teach her how to cook, how to make his type of stew. He patiently did all of these things. And in those days, our husbands were laughing at them because it was like, oh my God, your wife is lazy. Oh, so your wife can cook. Oh, on and on and on. However,
they were taught by their mothers to say, a woman's place is in the kitchen, or to look after children. And nowadays, we should teach our children, hold on, you are as equal as your wife is. You should respect her as much as she respects you. And if we don't teach our children, then I don't think we women will ever get out of this.
You are so true and right. You know, you've made the point, and it's the same thing as the other caller said, that we have to, it is our responsibility to change things little by little in our homes, in our communities, and out into the world, because if we don't, it will stay like this. And you know, it's good if a woman can cook, but so should it be that a man should cook. So should it be that they tidy the house, they do things together, you know? And people have strengths. I know men who cook better than women. I know men who do things better than women. But then women are all out there working together with the man.
And, you know, when women are working and, you know, if they're getting sexually abused, they should speak about it. Why keep quiet?
If you...
There is such a thing as whistleblow. Yeah, without telling anyone, you can do that.
It's very difficult to say this depending on the situation. If it is a job, say, look at these actresses and things. They want positions. They want the job. So when a man sexually harasses you, you shut your mouth so that you can get the job and do whatever it is that you need to do. Some women are raped, sexually harassed, maltreated, abused because of poverty. Because of poverty. And all of these things happen, and you are scared to tell anyone else, because then the man may sack you, may shame you. A lot of times people go through situations where another woman will ask, what did you do to make him do that to you? There's never a time where, do you understand? A woman is always blamed by other women for her suffering. It's like, why did he rape you? Is it because you did something?
But then those women should, you know, understand themselves. When, I mean, as a woman, I'd look at my daughter-in-law, and years ago, how my mother-in-law treated me. I'm not going to treat my daughter-in-law like that. You know, I have to make that change first. You know, if you understand. And my daughter-in-law, maybe she'll change when she has a son or a daughter to teach her how to be strong.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone says, women in a marriage or a relationship can fight for themselves and teach their sons to be good men. But a strong woman will probably lose out in the end. Her sons will sometimes leave her side and forget her. That is the sorrow of a strong woman. It is sometimes a thankless effort. A marriage, a long, thankless job. What do you think about that?
I have learned in my own life not to expect anything from anyone. Even your children, your grandchildren, or your husband or your parents. Right? I do whatever I can do. I teach them the best of my ability. But if they want to leave me, it is up to them. Let them go.
You are a very strong woman, I think, because a lot of women want their children, they do things for their children and hope that the children also have their back. And when the children leave them because they've got a wife. But I kind of think that, you know, if it is a happy family where they blend together, the mother, the daughter-in-law and all of that, they will stay together. They will not. The man will not leave his mother unless it is uncomfortable. This is my view. My view is if it is uncomfortable, they go and don't come back. But if it is comfortable, they will continually come back.
Yes, and you know, I think when we have a daughter-in-law in the house, we got to think about that she was somebody's daughter.
Yeah.
And she is somebody's, sister as well. Right?
Yeah.
And we have to respect them.
Yeah.
As well as they respect us.
Yeah.
My son lives far away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But he'll always make sure that, that he calls me, Mom, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Or if they have time, they'll come and see me. But I don't expect them to come and see me every weekend. They'll come in their own time. If you expect too much of life, you're never going to get everything in life.
That is so true. That is true.
So we ourselves have to train ourselves. Single women bringing their children up, right? You're penalized being a single woman, right? In African countries, oh, she's divorced. I don't want my husband there. Right? Why?
It's because women are afraid of women. And you see, if you're divorced, you're strong, you're looking after your children, you've got a job, as you may have, you are very comfortable, other women are afraid of you.
That's where it comes to. Women kill women.
Women kill women. That's a bit too strong. But it's true. It could be true. Women do things like that. Anyway, caller, thank you very much for your call. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. I'm just about to wrap up. I have 4 minutes, so I'll just kind of wrap up. And we can come back next week and talk some more.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Ladies, you've heard two people, and they virtually said the same thing. Women have been given the chance 100 years down the line. We have a lot of things that we can do. We have a lot of things that, things have changed. Women are educated now. Women are in very good jobs. Before, women were not allowed to be doctors. So some women had to dress up as men to be able to be doctors. There was a woman who was a nurse, and she enjoyed being a nurse, and she wanted to go to war, and they wouldn't let her go to war. I have her name here. I'll tell you who she is in a minute. But all in all, she still worked hard, and she used her own money to help soldiers who had been injured in the war front. Now, this is a black woman who, from her heart. Now, there are a lot of people who have done big things, and we didn't know it then, but we're talking about it now. It is very important that we respect each other, and we respect Mary Seacole, that's her name. Mary Seacole, she was born in Kingston, Jamaica. She was black. She wanted to be in the army and help as a nurse. They would not let her. Ladies, I have only an hour and my time is practically up. The whole idea of this show today is 100 years to vote. This voting has opened doors for us to do a lot of things. Women are now very educated. Women are very powerful. But this is all politically, and it's on paper. Socially, we still have a long way to go. We ourselves need to help ourselves to be able to do what we want to do. Ladies, I shall be back next week. Hopefully, I shall have 2 hours because I'm negotiating for that. And we can and we will be able to do more. Bye-bye, people.